Thank you. It's Vladimir from Euronews Serbia. It's about enlargement for Guillaume, if it's possible. There are media reports about the EU plans to reallocate the Western Balkans funds in the favor of the front-runners because the other countries failed to implement reforms by the end of June. So my question is that possible? Thank you.
Thank you. Guillaume.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the question. This will allow me actually to explain a bit where we stand in the process when it comes to the Western Balkans growth plan, because I think we need to clarify a bit. So first, it's really important to mention that actually this reform and growth facility is a performance-based instrument, meaning that partner countries, Western Balkan partners need to do the reforms in order to get funding in return. So far, since we have launched the Western Balkans growth facility, we have seen meaningful progress. Actually, in the previous request for payment, 78% of the reforms have been actually achieved, or we have seen some progress, with only 22% still. So it really shows that there is movement when it comes to the reforms. If we go now to the procedure, as I said, important to mention, so the regulation when it comes to the reform and growth facility mentioned that when a payment condition is not fulfilled in accordance to the reform agenda that we have agreed with a partner, Western Balkan partner, then there's a grace period that can kick in. So it means the partner has 1 year to do the reforms. If you reach actually this limit, so you reach the limit of the grace period, then indeed the regulation can look into the potential reallocation of the funding. Where we stand now is we are now reaching the first grace period for actually the second request for payment. So this period was expired on the 30th of June. So now what we will do is indeed we will look into the reforms that have been achieved until now regarding this grace period, and we can potentially look into reallocation of the funding. But at this stage, it's very important to mention, no decisions have been taken. We are now actually assessing the reporting from the partners, the Western Balkan partners, and we'll communicate once we have taken a decision in that context. I think very important to mention that, we're talking about here a first grace period. There are some others for other requests for payment. From our side, what's really, really important to mention is that really we are urging the Western Balkans partners to make the most of this facility, because they can get funding, they can really use it to the full potential. So we really urge them to do so, and we remain at their disposal also to support them in that context.
In support of carrying out the necessary reforms, indeed. Anna.
Thank you very much for this clarification and for taking my question. Commissioner Kos had mentioned, I think it was in the last structured dialogue in AFET, that it was about 700 million that partner countries could risk losing. Are these figures still up to date? I understand that in the meantime there's been a payment of, I can't remember now the figures, around I think a bit less than 160 million for North Macedonia, Montenegro and Albania. So just a bit to understand the order of magnitude of the figures that potentially could be reallocated. Thank you.
Look, when it comes to this first grace period, because the figure that was announced back then by the Commissioner also covered Bosnia and Herzegovina, which in this case covers another grace period for the first request for payment. I know it's getting technical, so we can discuss it afterwards. Here, the funding that is at risk with this first deadline that we are now arriving to is actually about 330 million euros. So this is where we stand now at this stage. The figure that was given by the Commissioner also covers another grace period.
Good. Thank you, Guillaume. Other questions? Servojm. Not the case. Other questions? Otherwise, David.